today I wanted to talk about my hair story. It was a long journey. I always wanted to have long hair. My hairdresser told me that I just wasn't gonna have that. So let's get into this video. So hello, and wait, before we start this, I have to say I love and hate this natural lighting because it's so nice to finally feel the sun, but it's also looks weird on camera. So yeah, today I wanted to talk about my hair story. You don't know this, but it was a long journey. I always wanted to have long hair, and when I was younger I really struggled with it because my hairdresser told me that I just wasn't gonna have that because my hair was thin and getting greasy early, and yeah, it just was not supposed to happen because some people have longer hair and some people don't. And now I feel like I'm kind of happy with it. Actually, the other day I was talking to some old school friends and we were talking about whether we would get something done on our bodies, and I was like, yeah, maybe extensions. And they were like, what? You know, now you have long hair, like why do you still want extensions? And I basically told them, well, my hair is still thin and it's still not really healthy. But then again, wait a second, I do have longer hair now, and I am really happy. Like, I haven't had that before. Why do we always want to have more and cannot actually be grateful and happy for the things that we have, especially when that was all that we wanted? But yeah, that's a whole different topic. I want to talk about how I got to this point. So let's get into this video. I promise I won't bore you too much with the details. I will just quickly say. So the first thing that I always do now is braid my hair when I go to bed. Like, I never leave it like that. I always like do either two braids or one, like behind or just on one side, like whatever, but always braid it because then it's harder for it to break. And you can also use silk pillowcases because then it's in general just easier for it to be healthy and not break. And another thing, after I'm showering, I will use a microfiber towel. I won't use the normal ones, just the microfiber one. And I also won't do like this with my hair. I will basically just put it on there, then let it dry a bit. And then there already comes the third thing that I do. I always put oil in it. So I always have something after the shower and sometimes even in between the showers. If you have a really good oil, you won't see it. Like, you can also put it in just during the week when you don't even feel like showering. And also, what is really good, what I have heard of just recently, is to massage your hair and also use some oil for that. There's a good video from Jay Shetty's wife. I don't know if you've ever heard of her. I really like her. She does so much health-based content, and yeah, also about her hair, it's like gorgeous. She has gorgeous hair, and just in general, her personality, everything. But well, that's besides the point. but she made a video where she basically explained the whole process of oiling her hair and massaging through it. I have to admit that I haven't done this as often now. I'm not sure of how much I will do that. Like, I really like it and I do think that it has benefits, but for me, my hair gets oily very easily. But if you do that before you shower, like a few hours before, or maybe even overnight when you know you wash it in the morning before you go out, then it's really good. Like, why not? And also in the shower, I always use conditioner, but I always put it in my lengths and I never put it on my scalp. And that's also because it will make your scalp get greasy and oily more easily. And also, at least once a week, I do a hair mask, maybe even more, depending on how I feel, how much time there is. And sometimes, obviously, there are busier weeks where you won't get to do that. But just in general, I feel like it's also good for yourself because you feel like you are doing something good for yourself. And another thing, yeah, there aren't that many things actually, and it's like very easy to integrate into your life. I mean, you're showering anyway, you're drying your hair anyway, and you're going to sleep anyway. It doesn't take long to braid your hair and stuff like that. It's like not that hard to integrate it, and you also can integrate it slowly, like step by step. You don't have to integrate everything all at once, and maybe some things also work better and some don't work as well for you. These are just things that help me, but you don't have to copy all of them. Basically, that's what I wanted to say. Nutrition is important. There are specific foods that are better or worse for your hair, but especially better, like for example, nuts. And just in general, these types of foods are healthy, but it's also very healthy for your hair. Then salmon, eggs, sweet potato actually, and yeah, just some other stuff which you can also look up online. I also always eat oats, and I think it's also good for your hair, but I'm not sure. But oats are really good in general for your body, so you're not doing anything wrong there. Lately, I also am using barley grass sometimes because it's supposed to help your skin and your hair growth as well. But I have to say, I'm also slacking a bit on that. Like sometimes I'm doing that more, and sometimes I'm not doing it that much. But well. What I also do is after the shower, you rinse your hair with cold water so that it closes everything and your hair will be more protected against everything. And also, if you're using a hair dryer, then you can also set a mode at the end with just cold air, so it also again just closes everything. And I'm not sure if I forgot anything, but the last thing that I wanted to say is go to your hairdresser regularly, but only cut off the ends and the very unhealthy things. Because if you cut off more, then obviously it takes longer to grow back. Yeah, so to find a good hairdresser is also very important, and a hairdresser that also supports your decision in growing your hair and keeping it as long as possible. Because like when I was at my last hairdresser, actually, I wish I still had her here, but like I moved, so it's kind of difficult. But she would always tell me, this much I have to cut off, but I could also cut off this much, and then it would be more healthy, but this much is really needed. At some points, I decided to cut off less because I just didn't want to cut off more, and then the next time I just cut off a bit more, depending on how I felt like. And sometimes at the beginning, if your hair is really unhealthy, it takes a bit until it is really healthy. Each time you have to cut off something, and then at one point it will be more healthy, but in the end, it can still break. It's just important that your hairdresser supports you and is there for you and wants to do what you want them to do. And I think in most cases that will apply, but just saying. Yeah, I'm not sure if I forgot anything, but these are basically the things that I'm doing. I know it's nothing fancy, but oh yeah, there's also something else. If you have, like, depending on your hair structure, you'd also need a different kind of shampoo. My hair tends to be more wavy and sometimes even curly, depending on how healthy it is and depending on how much time I invest into it. So then you also have to think about a few other things and do it a bit differently. Yeah, if you want to know more, then maybe I can talk to you about it in another video. But these are the main things that I'm, yeah, doing most of the time. Not always, obviously. Sometimes, like I said, sometimes times are busier and sometimes they are less busy. And that's totally okay. That's totally fine. And you shouldn't stress yourselves about that. And yeah, I just wish everyone who wants that long hair. And even if you don't remember, it's not what is outside, but it's what is inside that matters. And I know that we forget that a lot of the time. And I also know that it's very hard in our day and age, in our society, to not think about it like that. But in the end, that is what matters. And it's like that. It's as simple as that. And I know that we tend to forget about that. And I also know that just because you care about how you look, it doesn't mean that you don't care more about how you look inside, but yeah, I just wanted to remind you of that at the end, because even if this wasn't supposed to be a superficial video, it can seem like that. And maybe that's also okay, but maybe it's also okay and good to remind ourselves that there are so many things that are more important than that. But yeah, that's all I wanted to say. So, see you soon and bye.